1952, on this very day, the 18th October, when the Nagas were staging a peaceful and democratic procession in Kohima town to voice our protest and reject the imposed general election of India on the Nagas, Ino Zasipito Nagi was murdered at point-blank range by the Assam police. Thus, late Zasipito Nagi became the first Naga martyr in the hands of now the claimed biggest democracy in the world, the mighty India, who began the implementation of her undeclared pre-planned design to invade Nagaland, starting with this murder. The plebiscite of the 16th May 1951 endorsed the Naga Independence Declaration of the 14th August 1947 to remain a people and a sovereign nation. In such circumstances, imposing Indian election for namesake and legal escapism on the Nagas was only a means to demean the will and the voice of our people, which India dearly wished to silence but could not succeed. Even so, carrying out a game plan of annihilation and containment of the Nagas, the actions of India was unleashed on our people. In 1954, Indian security forces massacred 27 men and 26 women in Yampang village of Tuensang district. That was followed by the massacre at Chingmai village of Chang tribe in the same year. In 1956, horribly, 4 girls were raped in the podium of the church and later killed in Yankeli village of Lota tribe. On the 6th September 1962, all the menfolk of Matiku village in Pochuri tribe were murdered. The reason for this horror was only because a Dakota plane of the Indian Air Force was shot down by the Naga army. All the 7 crew members of the Dakota were handed over to the Indian government by the Naga army without the slightest stretch of harm to any one of them. But the Holocaust was committed by Indian army without any compunction. Countless incidents of horror and nightmarish brutalities remain unnoticed and unrecorded, which only could be attributed to social media of Naga simple life and lack of communication to expose them. Let us just imagine and envision how Nagas suffered and how our people brace these forces to this day. We can only be thankful to our Almighty God, in whom we believe in, for sustaining our people. Sadly, all such incidents went unreported, unrecorded, and unnoticed by the outside world due to blockade of access to the media by the democratic India. Such was the fate of our people, with no available means of recourse to address the plight of our people, to counter the ring of terror in our land. In 1956 and 1957, almost all the villages and granaries in Nagaland were burned down, forcing our people to starve. Thousands and thousands of Nagas were perished due to malnutrition and epidemics at that time of our history. Even then, unable to contain the Naga movement, the puppet state government was created. A puppet Nagaland state government was created as the 16th state of Indian Union on the 1st December 1963 through signing the 16-point agreement with the Naga People's Convention, which India coined in 1960. Yet, India was compelled to sign the 6th September 1964 bilateral ceasefire agreement with the federal government of Nagaland. However, the peace talks failed and was deadlocked in 1968 since India was not sincere and ready to come forward and address the Indo-Naga case in the proper perspective. compounding the already existing ring of terror, India enacted the Armed Forces Special Powers Act of Assam (AFSPA) in 1958 and unleashed it in Nagaland, which remains unshakable to this day. The latest incident was the 4th December 2021 massacre of 13 innocent villagers at Poting village in Mon district by the Special Force of Assam Rifles. I'm sure that this incident is still fresh in the minds of our people. It is a universal truth that no one can change history, but can create history. Also that no one can cheat the dead, but can fool the living. How true are these truths in the Naga context today? The ongoing solution talks by the GOI, NCN-IAN, and NNPGs is only a device to fool not only the Nagas, but the outside world too, in which India planned to whitewash her actions and ambition to occupy Nagaland by claiming legal justification in the eye of the international committee. Under any circumstance, whatever solution the negotiating parties may arrive at under the Constitution of India, it will not be a final settlement of the protracted Indo-Naga issue. At this juncture, the NGOs and the puppet Nagaland state government shouting peace and solution under Indian Constitution is a sham and a blot on Naga identity. Those characters are only playing into the hands and the game plan of India to her advantage to occupy our land. When do you think is the right time for we Nagas to wake up and rise up in unison in words and deeds to uphold Naga sovereignty and freedom? God forbid our people to forget the supreme sacrifice our Naga martyrs made in the course of the past 75 years of Naga journey for freedom. The cost of the blood of Naga patriots shall be upon the head of whoever is anti-Naga in words and deeds. The nation salute you all, worthy martyrs. Kugnali.